All right. People of the State of Michigan versus Calvin Hartzell, 2023569. Mr. Hartzell is appearing by video today with his attorney, Ms. Halleck, and Mr. Gabriel is the prosecutor. And this is the date set for sentencing on this case. And Mr. Hartzell is here. And Ms. Halleck, I explained that due to COVID, the court is not open to the public, and we put this on YouTube to allow public access to the courts. There's no secret proceedings, there's nothing in hiding, so we have to put it on YouTube. But does he have any objection to continuing on video today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And in the sense that his objection to doing it on video would mean that we could make arrangements for just him to come into the courtroom, but we would still broadcast it on YouTube. It's not that we wouldn't do YouTube if he was here, it's just that he could appear in person and we would close the court, you know, we'd allow him in, you in, you'd be 6 feet apart. You could even appear by video, but he could be here and he could address the court in person, but it would still be broadcast because it's not open to the public. So,
Correct.
All right, so do you have any additions, corrections, or deletions, Ms. Halleck?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Gabriel?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, and the agent recommends the prior record variable at 75 points, level F, offense variable 10 points, level 2. Any objection to that?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, and you know, the guidelines would call for a minimum sentence of anywhere from 19 to 38 months, but that does not reflect the plea agreement that was entered into with the prosecution, and it really doesn't reflect Mr. Hartzell's history. Mr. Hartzell's only had 3 other convictions on his record. The last one was over 11 years ago. He hasn't had anything since then, so that guideline score is inflated by the, you know, by the criminal history he had between 1999 and 2009, and so it's heavily skewed, but it doesn't reflect that he's been crime-free for the last 11, 12 years. So I don't find it's unordinary or out of the realm that the prosecutor offered to make sure that this was a no jail recommendation, and therefore I can go along with it. Mr. Hartzell was concerned about some rumors that he had heard that somehow he was getting some kind of sweetheart deal, and as I told him off the record, I wish we could do something about all the false rumors that go around about all of us, but there's no basis for any false rumor about Mr. Hartzell as far as, you know, that he's got some kind of special deal here, other than that he's picked up another charge after being crime-free for 11 years, but he didn't make the point where he got those charges to drop off into the current rules. Is that right, Mr. Gabriel?
That is correct, Your Honor. And he also took some steps to deal with his problem, which I asked him to do in order to earn my recommendation. And that's the whole basis of the offer that I made.
When you say he took some steps, you mean that he took some steps in regards to treatment and
Correct.
Keeping himself clean, not in regards to assisting you in any way, in any case, or anything else?
Absolutely not. It's solely the fact that I asked that he take his addiction seriously and address it and stay clean, cooperate with the court, and if he does all of that, then I believed he had a chance, and I ultimately will ask the court to follow the recommendation.
Okay, good. So, Mr. Hartzell, there should be no belief that you somehow acted as an informant or acted any part in the prosecution or done anything other than accept responsibility, take it serious, and move on and get this case over. So, for those out there that may have some kind of false idea of Mr. Hartzell and what he did, you're wrong. And Mr. Hartzell, I wish there was something I could do, but you know, that's about all we can do to make it clear to everyone. All right, so in terms of the recommendation, you know, Ms. Halleck, I'll listen to both you and Mr. Gabriel. When I looked at this, you know, Mr. Hartzell had issues 11 years ago, and then this one he picked up a new charge. He's accepted responsibility. He knows what he needs to do. He's 51 years old. You know, there's a recommendation that he needs probation for education. Well, you know, I think at some point we're past that. You know, he's in the employment and the life that he has. and is moving on. So I don't see the need for probation. I see the need for this to, this will trigger another 10-year gap in his period, but other than that, I don't see the need for anything else. But I'll listen to Mr. Gabriel and Ms. Halleck if they see that there's anything else. But Ms. Halleck?
I don't think there's anything to add. I think we appreciate the court placing what they did on the record, and I wish Mr. Hartzell the best of luck moving forward.
Okay. Mr. Hartzell, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I don't. I was lost.
Okay. Mr. Gabriel?
The only thing that I'd like to say, Your Honor, to the court and to Mr. Hartzell is that, as I review the problem in this particular case, I was glad to see the probation department kind of agreed with what my initial assessment would have been. I have no problem with probation, but I do want you to understand that future looking at it, just the mere fact that you might have tried to dodge the bullet by hiding the meth, another prosecutor could read that and take a whole different attitude. So from my perspective, cooperation with the authorities, people have problems, cooperate with the authorities, thing ultimately can go a lot easier. Just please think about that in the future. Just don't ever get involved in this stuff again.
No.
All right. So Mr. Hartzell, so many people end up in jail and prison for lying about what they did rather than just admitting what they did, or for trying to hide what they did rather than just admitting what they did. So, taking the contraband, taking the residue and throwing it only compounds the issues. It got you 10 points here, which moved you up to a level 2, which moved you up another grid. And, if you can stay crime-free for 10 years, which is, and it's any crime. So any crime triggers it. So fishing without a license would trigger it again. But, you got to stay clean for 10 years, and then all these old ones will drop off. So just do that. So again, you know what you need to do. You've had enough counseling and treatment over the years to deal with it. You had a period of sobriety. You relapsed. Understand. All right, I don't see the need for Mr. Hartzell to have probation. I'm not going to order probation. If he gets another charge, then you won't get that benefit of a no jail rec and the rest. And so just realize your guidelines put you into that high cell range because of your prior records. So just be aware of that. So 0 days, credit 0 days served. Thank you, COVID, for that for you. But your license is suspended for 6 months. And again, 1 month no driving, 5 months restricted, but that's only through October 1st when the law changes and the Secretary of State will notify you that you can start driving again, assuming you have a license. But for right now, I have to suspend it. There's a $68 state cost, $130 crime victims assessment. There's court costs / attorney's fees of $527 and a fine of $100. And I won't order any probation or any of the additional court costs, fines, or anything else. So that's the sentence of the court. Mr. Hartzell, you should have, you'll be given 3 forms advising of what your rights on appeal are. I'd ask you to sign 1 copy acknowledging that you received them. If you wish to appeal, you need to fill those out and return to the court within 42 days. And financial obligations that are ordered, you got to pay right away. If you can pay within 56 days, they won't increase. Whatever's unpaid at the end of 56 days increases by 20%, okay?
Yes.
All right, we'll go off the record.